I have now received my discharge from the Navy, heading up to Liverpool to join Mum and Anne and Michael, and little story about that. The boys saw me off from the training establishment, and we had a couple of drinks and ran out of drinks before I left, so they drained the printing machine of the spirit that was in it, and I drank that. Got in the car that was taking me down the station and fell out the other side. But we got there anyway, and got home to Liverpool with Mum, and went to the Labour Exchange and see if there was any jobs, and I found myself in the end of a huge dole queue, people unemployed. So I signed on, drew me dole, and went back home hoping I could hear for a job. Uncle Joe made a few inquiries for me, but no jobs were available, as I had no experience in any particular field in civilian life. Anyway, I stuck this out, broke, fed up for a couple of months. Then I phoned Nanny Mead, who lived in Harrow in London, just outside London, and asked her, would she mind if I came down and stayed with her a while to try and get work? And she agreed that was okay. So I went down to Harrow and booked in with Nanny Mead there, got the telephone directory, local one, and the biggest company locally that was around was Kodak in Wealdstone, Harrow Wealdstone. So I phoned the guy up there, who fortunately was an ex-Navy man himself. He said, come around, have a chat. So I went and saw him, and he said, what do you want to do? I said, I don't mind. What pays the most? So he said, well, the best pay, not a very nice job, but that's as what they call a perforator in the dark rooms. Consisted of 2 banks of machines, 6 either side, and you loaded up these 1,000-foot rolls of film onto the machine, thread it through, and then started it up, and that would put the perforations on the edge of the film. And you went from one machine to the other, you know, all around to 12, and you soon got the swing of that. You found out which machines were the faster and slower, so you could nip around quickly. Because you got paid, apart from a pretty good salary, which was £10 a week in those days, and that was good salary, you also got paid a bonus on the number of rolls of film you got turned out. So anyway, that I did, and stuck it for about 5 years. It was kept me down, as you can imagine. Stuck in a dark room after being used to being out in the sunlight and the air and talking to people. So I thought to myself, I can't stand this, and looked around for what else I could do, and I read somewhere about salesmanship, and I thought to myself, oh, that sounds interesting. So I phoned up these people, and it was a school, correspondence school, and filled me in a bit about what that consisted of. So I started that. I did this correspondence course at the at the school. So during the course, I took on several part-time jobs and selling, and I sold fire extinguishers, insurance, TV aerials, adhesive, tile adhesive, and so on. And so I picked up a bit of experience from that, and in the meantime I was still working at Kodak, of course, but I also took on a part-time job. Me and another fellow there bought ourselves a couple of sets of ladders, and we built up a little window cleaning around South Oxley, which paid us a few pounds, which helped things out. And then I left that rather finish the course, apply for a job with a firm called Bournemouth Office Machines. One of their franchises they had was the American calculator machine called the Freedom, which is well known, big thing. Did several models of that. Applied for the job, and after a bit of an argument at the interview, where they considered I was married and I was starting something new and I had kids, and so they didn't think I would last long. So I just told them, frankly, if you don't take me, I'm going to look for another selling job anyway. So, you know, it's up to you. Eventually they offered me the job, which was a pretty good salary again. That paid me £15 a week plus commission on all sales. So I did some training there, and then off I went. I had an allocated area. I had North London, and then they gave me, I did pretty successfully there, and then they gave me East London as well. So numbers of these machines. But I always remember the first month, we got paid monthly, and I'd done very well, and I must have had a couple of £300 paid in commission, part of my salary. And I always remember coming home with all these notes, walking to the front door in the front room, and Mum and you had a microwave, and I just threw these notes up in the air.
What, 300? How much?
Yeah, about 300 quid.
Woohoo! Not bad.
Success. So that was the start of my selling experience. And I was involved in that quite a while, and then I made quite a number of contacts, as you can imagine. And I took on some additional jobs as well as doing that. In the office equipment field, and on the side. And eventually I left Bournemouth and joined this company, which were management consultancy, as a salesman, selling the idea in companies, you know, if they're in a bit of a loss-making position, or they weren't happy the way things were going, and so on and so forth. I could introduce these guys in that would straighten out and sort out all their problems. And I did that, and that worked out very well. I gained an awful lot of experience. Not only selling the idea, but I used to go in with a guy, and who used to go right through them, and I picked up a lot of very good tips. Most of it is pretty obvious, you know, you can see what people were sitting there not doing much, or what they were didn't amount to much anyway, and things like that. So I was with them for a little while, and then after that, one of my contacts that I've made was in another office equipment firm, and they asked me would I start up my own company with their backing up in Watford. And in the meantime, I thought about that, but in the meantime I left this company of consultants, and there was a local firm called Harris Typewriters in Watford. They were Olivetti agents, amongst other things. And I joined them, and I introduced quite a lot of systems and what have you into them, and made a big difference to the company itself. And anyway, Mr. Harris, the boss, he always said to me and another guy that I worked with there, called Sid Bennett, who hadn't got a lot of experience in selling, but he'd been in the firm since it started, and he acted as a sort of a sales manager, but he hadn't got the experience of selling. And he promised us that if he died, because he was getting on there, and he had a bit of a weak ticker, that the business was ours. We could run it and do what we like. And his wife agreed with that. Anyway, he dropped down dead. And lo and behold, his wife, Mrs. Harris, tried to sell the company to Olivetti, what she wanted to sell it to Olivetti. And they asked her, behind our backs, would we sign a letter committing ourselves to stay with the company if Olivetti bought it, for obvious reasons. We knew all the customers and all about the company, and we were an essential part of it. But when she approached us and asked us, we flatly refused, because it was strictly against what had been agreed anyway, which upset her most very much. And Olivetti were a bit upset, but they still bought the business. Sid and I left, took a couple of the engineers with us from the firm, and we started off from home. Took most of their customers anyway, because we were the contacts that they always knew. And we set up our own business. Eventually took on one shop, did very well, went very well, took on another shop, and we did the whole range of office equipment, furniture, machines, everything, and also service department. And that went on until I was 65. In the meantime, we had one particular agency called Lanier, who did dictating and machines and centralised dictating systems. And Charles, I put it to him, and he agreed that he'd like to come and join the company running that side of it, which he did. And then when it came to time when I thought I'd better retire, we approached Stephen, who'd got the accountancy expertise. Would he like to join the firm? Which he agreed, he loved it, the idea. So he came and joined the firm. And then I left it to them, get on with it. Sid was always a bit difficult anyway, but I just used to override everything he did. But he wasn't no help with them. But anyway, the first year they were there, it was quite successful. But after that, it was getting a bit of problem with them, through Sid and various other things going on. So they sold the business anyway. But that's neither here nor there. But I had no regrets, and they certainly didn't. And that is about as far as I can talk to you about that.